And welcome to the post-game Coach's Corner. I am the coach, Dick Cox, reporting for Cox Sports Broadcasting and Lindy Sports. We are in the Colonial Life Arena today, the site of the first NCAA playoff game for the #1 ranked South Carolina Gamecock women's basketball team. South Carolina today took on a team that they had played earlier in the year, Presbyterian College, from only 1 hour away up I-26. Again, this was a team they were familiar with, though, and knew pretty much about what to expect going into the game. But South Carolina was a little bit short-handed today. That Camilla Cardoso was serving her 1-game suspension today. Also, Bree Hall was out of the lineup today. So South Carolina faced the task of only having 8 players dressed in uniform for today's ball game. That did not seem to matter in any way as South Carolina jumped off to a quick lead, leading 27-10, and never looked back on their way to a 91-39 victory today in front of a big crowd in Olumbia, South Carolina. The Gamecocks got good performances out of a lot of players today, as they had, looking right here real quick, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double figures. They were led by Chloe Kitts today, who had 21 points and 13 rebounds. A big game again from from Pow Pow, as she scored 18 points. Sanaya Fagan chipped in a double-double with 12 points and 10 rebounds. And another big game for Full Wiley as she came off the bench, loaded it up, hitting 5 out of 10 three-point shots. So South Carolina in all had everybody today except for Tessa Johnson score in today's ball game. Good chance to work on a lot of things. South Carolina was able to play with different combinations, as today they went with the starting 5 of Watkins, Fagan, Pow Pow, Tessa Johnson, and Raven Johnson. And again, used Full Wiley, Klitz, and Walker coming off the bench for them, though. But it was a lot of good minutes today. The Gamecocks had not played since the SEC championship game last week and got a little rust to work out. I know that Dawn Staley said they'd have to clean up some of the defense today on the on-ball screens. The pick and roll by PC gave him some problems sometime, though. But credit PC. PC is the smallest school in Division I, and they were able to win the Big South Conference. I'm very familiar with the Big South Conference, that I do ESPN Plus TV games for them. But Coach Elena Sharp did a great job with these young ladies. They won their first round game over Sacred Heart and then advanced to play against South Carolina today. Again, they played very hard and got a good performance from their team. And again, just were outmanned pretty much at every position, but they made a good showing and made a good name for Presbyterian College out of Clinton, South Carolina. The Gamecocks now will have a task of the Battle of the Carolinas on Sunday. The North Carolina Tar Heels almost blew a 12-point lead in the final 2 minutes of their game and ended up winning the game by 3 points, as they missed free throws that could have iced the game, but were able to get the offensive rebounds on 2 occasions and were able to run the clock out with a close win over Michigan State. South Carolina and North Carolina had a barn burner earlier in the year, that there was some a lot of physicality, a lot of talk in that game. North Carolina, I think, even led at the half in that game. And the end result was a trip to Tobacco Road really woke up the Gamecock women, and they fought from behind and came back and won the game in their first test on the road. When I talked about memories on the game, Full Wiley mentioned that was the game that Dawn Staley got her attention, that she only played 3 minutes in because she didn't play defense, and that was an eye-opening game for her. She's looking forward to playing North Carolina again this time. And I talked to several of the players in the locker room. I told them, back in the day, North Carolina and South Carolina were bitter rivals, did not like each other. I still don't like North Carolina. But it'll be an interesting game. Dawn Staley had mentioned earlier in the year, after playing up there, she wished she could get South Carolina to come get North Carolina to come play in Columbia sometime. Well, the NCAA tournament brackets worked that out, though. And she said she would like to see this be a home and away series, South Carolina and North Carolina every year, though. So come Sunday, one of the Carolinas is going to have to pack up their equipment till next season. The other Carolina will advance on in the NCAA tournament. Reporting today on the impressive win by the South Carolina women's basketball team. Your final score is South Carolina 91, Presbyterian College 39. We will see you Sunday afternoon for our next NCAA March Madness in Columbia. Goodbye, everybody.
Well, good effort on both sides of the ball.
Only 8 players tonight, and you were still able to win by 3 more. They definitely your team.
I mean, they've played all season long. I mean, they're used to playing without 2 of our starters. I mean, we didn't really think about it. We just kind of moved forward and just kind of coached up the players that we had available. When we're in that type of situation, if you lean too heavy on not having those players, the other players will feel it. I just don't want them to feel anything. So I want us to be able to take whatever hit that's coming at us and handle it. And I thought the 8 players that were ready to go were good at what they did.
What does that say about Chloe Kitt's mental focus? Started this season, then didn't start today, but led the team. How have you liked her mental focus that she displayed?
I mean, Chloe's process has been great, you know, and I mean, overall, like even if she goes through a time in which she's not very confident, you got to work through that. Like, she sees now that that is just a bleep in her process. She'll go through a period too where she's not feeling as confident, and she'll know that she got over the hump, and hopefully she'll familiarize herself with playing as well as she did today. We're gonna need that kind of effort on Sunday.
So can you talk about Malaysia's performance in the past 4 games, tournament MVP for the SEC tournament, and then second leading scorer tonight? How good has she been over the past 4 games?
She's been good offensively. She's got a lot of work to do defensively, and she knows it. So we're not gonna, I think sometimes as a young player, the amount of points really camouflages what's really happening out there, especially on the defensive side of the basketball. I told her she scored 17, but she gave up 19. Like, that's bad math. I hope she hears it too, so she can challenge herself to get some stops. But proud of her. Obviously, we know that she can put points on the scoreboard. Her process is to continue to try to get incrementally better defensively.
Going back to the 8 players, I know 3 was unexpected, at least on our end, for being out today. Are you confident she'll be back on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident she'll be ready to rock and roll on Sunday.
Yeah, and speaking of UNC, Coach, I know you played them earlier in the season. What have you seen from them as they have kind of grown through the season, and are you guys the same team that you were when you played the first time?
I think we're both different in different ways. Obviously, we've put a lot of mileage on our bodies, which doesn't seem like it's affected them. I think they are who they are. They get up and down the floor defensively. They put you back on your heels because they're always coming at you. They got effort players. They give multiple efforts on the defensive side of the ball, rebounding. They run the floor extremely well. I think for us, we have to do those things, and we also got to make them play defense. We got to force them to guard us off the bounce. We got to force them to guard us in the paint. It's going to be a really good matchup. I think we're both going to force each other to do some things that are very uncomfortable to us, and we'll see who wins. I'm glad we get a chance to play them on our home court.
What did you see that y'all need to take away heading into the rest of the tournament?
Say that again?
What did you see today that y'all need to work on heading forward into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean defensively, we gotta link up a little bit better. We gotta stay connected a lot better. We gotta play ball screens a lot better, and then we gotta get loose balls. I thought that Presbyterian did a great job in getting most of the loose balls because we only gave 1 effort, but we got to figure out how to get multiple efforts between now and Sunday.
Going off that, it's not easy being a 16 seed, playing a 1 seed. Presbyterian, though, making history of their own at their school. Just what did you think of their play and their time here at the NCAA tournament?
I thought they made the most of it. They got an NCAA win, which is great for a program, for any program to get a win. I thought the second time around playing us, they played with much more bravado, much more confidence, and they did a great job exploiting some things that we weren't able to do consistently for 40 minutes on the defensive side of the ball.
You mentioned it earlier. Can you talk a little bit about finally getting to play North Carolina and South Carolina?
I think it's cool. I want it to be a home-to-home. I think it makes sense for both programs to do that because we're both top teams. It's not bad on the budget. It's probably would be an opportunity for us to play on TV and just grow the game in this area. So we'll continue to try to make that happen. Now that there's a ACC SEC challenge, maybe we're the ones that play each other every year.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.